Welcome to DevTech Finance. In today's video, we will be learning about the concept, advantage and disadvantage of mutual fund. This video is a part of mutual funds tutorial, so I recommend you to watch all other related videos to get a better understanding on this broader topic. Let's start with the concept of mutual fund. Mutual fund is established in the form of a trust to mobilize money from investors to invest in different markets and securities as per their stated investment objective. Now, mutual funds are constituted as trust and thus they are governed by Indian Trust Act 1882. Now, as you see, every trust needs to have a beneficiaries. For mutual fund, the beneficiaries are the investors who invest in various schemes of mutual fund. Thus, the only and the most important objective of mutual fund is to serve the investment objective of the investors, and thus it is established in the form of a trust. Now, what happens is mutual fund serves as a vehicle to make you invest in various securities. We will see further. Through investment in a mutual fund, an investor can get access to equities, bonds, money market instruments and other financial assets with small amount and little knowledge in the field. So if you want to invest in the stock market but you are not having a very expertise knowledge in that relevant field, you can go through mutual fund because mutual fund will be investing as per your objective in different schemes in different securities of the market like equities, debt, debentures, money market instruments, gold, etc. So, if you can't access to the stock market and you believe that you are not having so much of expertise in that field of knowledge, mutual funds provide you a simple platform with a smaller amount as well. So, with a smaller amount, you can start investing in mutual fund as per your investment objective. You can choose your equity fund or debt fund or the retirement fund, tax saving fund, fixed income fund, whatever will be your choice, whatever will be your investment objective. And thus, your money will be invested in other securities which are trading in the stock market. And this is how you can get access to all those markets where you would be otherwise requiring a large amount to invest and a good knowledge to invest as per your objective. Mutual fund returns are linked to performance of securities in market, which involves risk of loss in case the value of securities goes down. So you have always seen that ad that mutual funds are subject to market risk. It surely means that because your mutual fund will be investing, it is a means to invest in securities market, which is always involving some kind of risk in consideration with the values going up and down, the fluctuations in the values. And thus, because mutual funds are linked to the performance of securities, there is also a risk of loss in the scheme in which you have invested through mutual fund. So in case that the scheme in which you have invested in security with the value of which has gone down in the market, so the same way it will affect the mutual fund scheme as well, and the value of the scheme will go down. The income earned through these investments and the capital appreciation realized are shared by its unit holders in proportion to the number of units owned by them. So, being an investor, you are not a single investor in any particular mutual fund scheme. So, there are large number of investors investing in one particular scheme of any mutual fund. So, you would be provided your share in terms of units according to the value of money you have invested in that particular scheme. So, for example, you have invested 10,000 rupees in any mutual fund scheme whose unit value was rupees 10. So, you would be entitled to hold 1,000 units of that particular scheme. That is 10,000, your investment amount divided by the unit value, that is rupees 10. Thus, you got out the number of units, that is 1,000 units. You are entitled to hold those units. Now, in the same way, when there will be capital appreciation, when there will be any profit, you will be provided the share in the proportion of the units held by you. Mutual funds are closely regulated by Securities and Exchange Board of India with a view to protect investors. Now, SEBI, as we know, is a regulator of the capital market in the industry. Now, since mutual funds also invest directly or indirectly in the securities market, it is regulated by SEBI, and that SEBI regulation 1996 set out the regulatory framework for mutual fund. Thus, you can believe mutual fund to be a secure way of investing. There is, because it is being regulated, and all the activities of the parties involved in mutual fund, whether the trustees, settler, all those are governed by SEBI. Association of Mutual Funds in India is an industry body constituted by mutual funds in the country. It works closely with SEBI to address various mutual funds related regulatory issues and ensure smooth functioning of the industry. So along with SEBI, there is Association of Mutual Funds in India, which is a combined body of various mutual funds in the country. So if there will be any issues, that is raised through AMFI to the SEBI to ensure proper functioning in this particular industry. Now let's move on to some important terms related to mutual fund. So the first one is unit. We already talked about that you would be entitled to hold certain number of units depending on your investment amount and the face value of that particular scheme. So the monetary investment that an investor makes in a scheme is translated into a certain number of units in the scheme. Thus, an investor in a scheme is issued units of the scheme. For example, if an investor has invested rupees 1000 in units issued at rupees 10, he will be entitled to rupees 1000 divided by rupees 10, which is 100 units. Now, the value, what we call the NAV, the net asset value, which is marked according to the market, the performance of the market, that will go up and down. And according to that, you will be gaining the units in that particular mutual fund scheme. New fund offer. When a scheme is open for investment for a limited period, initially it is called a new fund offer. So whenever any new mutual fund scheme is launched, it is open for a certain limited period. It is for a certain limited period which is called, and thus in that period it is called new fund offer. Now, depending on how it is structured, the scheme may be open to accept money from investors only during NFO. So, there are two types of scheme which we called as close-ended scheme and open-ended scheme. So, close-ended schemes are those which are open to accept money from investors, in which you can invest only during that NFO period, which is a limited period. But in open-ended scheme, which remains open even after the NFO, even post NFO. So there you can make investments at any time. So those are referred as open-ended scheme. While the close-ended scheme, after being open for a limited period, it gets listed on the stock exchange. So the trading value goes on there, but it is open to be invested by the investors only for a limited period of time. Subscription and redemption. The purchase of units by the investor from the scheme is called subscription. Return of money to the investor by the scheme is called redemption. So every time you are purchasing units of mutual fund, you are going to invest your money in any particular mutual fund scheme. You are actually subscribing. So you are making a subscription to that mutual fund scheme. So the purchase of units simply is referred as subscription. However, when you sell that particular mutual fund scheme or the units which you have held in any particular scheme, so that selling, after the selling, the money which you get back in terms of the return as well as whatever has been the performance of that particular scheme, so that money is referred as redemption. So whenever you are selling the mutual fund scheme, it is redemption. Whenever you are purchasing, it is subscription. Realized gains or losses. The scheme earns interest income or dividend income on the investment it holds. So there are various mutual fund schemes which provide interest income or dividend income. So every time the income that comes into your account, that is referred as realized gain. Every time you have incurred certain loss and the value has been deducted from your investment amount, that is called realized losses. Now further, when it purchases and sells investment, it earns capital gains or incurs capital losses. These are called realized capital gains or realized capital losses, as the case may be. So for example, you invested in any particular mutual fund scheme and after a certain period of time you sold that scheme. Maybe at that point of time the scheme was not performing well and the value of your investment went down. As we discussed that the mutual funds are subject to risk. Now if the value has gone down, it means that you have incurred losses, and thus on selling of that scheme, what comes to your account is the realized capital losses. However, if there was any profit and your investment amount has grown, so it will be realized capital gain which you have acquired after the selling of that particular mutual fund scheme. So whatever comes to your account would be referred as realized gain or realized loss. Now talking about unrealized gain or unrealized losses, investments owned by the scheme may be quoted in the market at the higher than the cost paid. Such gains in values on securities held are called valuation gain or unrealized gain. Similarly, there can be valuation losses or unrealized losses when securities are quoted in the market at a price below the cost at which the scheme acquired them. So the day-to-day fluctuations that happens in any particular scheme, as you know that the mutual fund scheme is investing in the securities market, and if the value of security is going down, the scheme value will also go down, and thus there will be loss which you have incurred in terms of your investment. So that loss which is coming there will be referred as unrealized loss. You are not selling your particular mutual fund scheme, but because your investment value is going down, we will call it unrealized loss. And if the investment values goes up, according to the market fluctuations, if the prices of securities go up and thus the scheme value goes up, it will be referred as unrealized gain for you because you have not sold the scheme, but the value of your investment has gone up. MTM valuation. The practice of marking securities to their market value is called mark-to-market valuation. Now, every time the securities are marked according to their market value. So, we talked about market value, the fluctuations which happens in particular security because of the trading that goes on, the trading in terms of buying and selling in that particular security that defines the market value. And thus the valuation which is done is referred as marked to market valuation. Net asset value. The value of each unit of every scheme, i.e. net asset value, is calculated based on MTM valuation of the investment portfolio. So we consider the NAV as the true value, the true picture of any particular scheme. This is the value of any particular scheme in which you have invested. You need to see this value. If the NAV of a particular scheme has gone up, it means your investment amount will have been gone up. If the NAV has gone down, it means your investment amount will come down. Now, this is done on the basis of MTM valuation of the investment portfolio. So we saw it is mark to market valuation, in which how the securities are performing in the market. According to that, the valuation is made on daily basis. Thus, it captures all the gains and losses, realized and unrealized. A fall in the security value in the market at the end of a day can cause a drop in the NAV, while if the market recovers, the NAV too can recover. So as in stock market or share market, when you see the share prices fluctuating, it goes down, it goes up. In the similar way for mutual fund, it is NAV. So NAV will go up, it will come down. It will be fluctuating on a daily basis. So it will be in your favor if the NAV goes up. It will be beyond your favor if the NAV comes down, because the investment value will go down, and in same case the investment value will go up if the NAV will go up. Asset under management. The sum of all investment made by investors in the mutual fund scheme is the entire mutual fund scheme size, which is also known as scheme's asset under management. So the total combined value of the investment in one particular mutual fund scheme will be referred as the asset under management for that particular scheme. Now let's talk about the advantages of mutual fund. So first is affordable portfolio diversification. Investing in the units of a scheme provides investors the exposure to a range of financial assets held in the investment portfolio of the scheme in proportion to their holding in the scheme. Thus, an investor can get proportionate ownership in a diversified investment portfolio even for a small investment of Rs 500 in a mutual fund scheme. Diversification helps reduce the risk in investment. Now, diversification becomes important because if you have invested in one particular financial asset class, it means that if that asset is not performing well, or maybe you have invested in share of one particular company. So if that company goes in losses and the share value comes down, it means all your investment amount will come down and you will incur a huge loss. So it is always recommended to do a diversification of portfolio when you are investing in financial markets. So diversification in terms of various asset classes, like you diversify among the gold, equity, debt instruments, or diversification amongst shares of various companies. So if you are investing in shares, you must diversify among different sectors and different companies. Now, through mutual fund, it is possible because the fund manager will be investing according to the investment objective, and there will be the whole portfolio the fund manager will be managing on behalf of you, in which there will be various asset classes or various companies. Shares will be held, and thus even with a small investment of 500 rupees, you are experiencing the diversification in the asset class. So if you would be investing by yourself only, you would be requiring a large amount to incur this obtain this diversification. But here, with the help of mutual fund, you are getting an affordable portfolio diversification. And diversification, we already understood, is very important if we want to reduce the risk in investment, because our investment is spread among various asset classes, among various shares of the companies. If one does not perform well, others will be performing well, and thus we will be gaining the profit. Second is professional fund managers. Now, pooling of large sum of money from many investors makes it possible for the mutual fund to engage professional managers for managing investments. Individual investors with small amount to invest cannot by themselves afford to engage such professional management. There are several aspects to such professional management: investing in line with the investment objective, investing based on adequate research, and ensuring that prudent investment processes are followed. So, mutual funds are having professional fund managers who manage your fund. So, according to your investment objective, whether you are investing for your retirement corpus, whether you are investing for tax saving, or you want growth in your income, so you are investing in equity fund, or maybe you want a fixed income source, so you are investing in debt funds. So, all those, whatever your investment objective is, there are fund managers appointed. There are professional fund managers in mutual funds who manages your investment amount, and thus there is a benefit that you don't need to have such a expertise knowledge in this particular field, because on your behalf fund managers are investing as per your objective. They are doing the adequate research, and they are also making sure that all the regulatory norms and processes are followed. Third is liquidity. At times, investors in financial markets are stuck with a security for which they can't find a buyer. Investors in a mutual fund scheme can recover the market value of their investment from the mutual fund itself. Depending on the structure of the mutual fund scheme, this would be possible either at any time or during specific intervals or only on closure of the scheme. So liquidity is whenever you want, you can go for the redemption of your particular mutual fund scheme. So we talked about subscription and redemption, where redemption was when you want to sell your mutual fund scheme, you will be realizing your investment amount. So you can go for redemption, which is showing that there is liquidity in mutual fund. Now, in case you were investing in stock market, what happens that in particular share of the company you have invested, you are not finding any buyer for that company's share. In that time, you won't be able to sell your share and realize the money. But however, that is not in the case of mutual fund scheme. In mutual fund, depending on the structure of the scheme, if you have invested in open-ended fund, So any time you can redeem your mutual fund amount. If you have invested in interval funds at particular interval, you would be able to redeem your investment amount. Or if you have invested in close-ended scheme, at the closure of the scheme, or in the maturity schemes at the closure of the scheme, you will be able to redeem the investment amount. Thus, the mutual fund is providing you a better liquidity option. Now let's come to transparency. So an investor is well informed with relevant information regarding their portfolio. So it's very important, and SEBI makes it mandatory for all the parties involved in capital market to make sure that the investors are getting informed investment decisions. They are getting information regarding their investment, regarding their portfolio. Now, the structure of mutual funds and regulation by SEBI have ensured that investors get such transparency about their investment. Thus, there are three essential places from where the investor can get information for taking informed decisions: scheme-related documents, portfolio disclosures, and the NAV of the scheme. So, you also get account statements on the registered mail ID of your account statement will be providing you with the NAV value, your investment amount, your current value of that particular investment. You can get scheme information documents, key information memorandum, and thus you can also see your portfolio by visiting on the particular website of that mutual fund. And other than that, you can see the NAV, the fluctuations in the NAV by visiting on the website or on the app which you would be using. So you can keep an eye on the NAV, how it is fluctuating, whether it is going up or down. So you would be well aware, well informed about your investment value, about the NAV of your particular mutual fund scheme, and about the whole portfolio which you are holding. Tax benefit. Mutual funds are not liable to pay tax on the income they earn. Now, this is one of the benefit which is provided to mutual funds. In the other case, if you have invested directly in the securities market, there is liability to pay taxes. However, in mutual funds, there is no such liability. If the same income were to be earned by the investor directly, then tax may have to be paid in the same financial year. Specific schemes of mutual funds like ELSS, that is equity linked savings schemes, give investor the benefit of deduction of amounts subscribed up to Rs 1,50,000 in a financial year from their income is liable to tax. So there are many tax saving schemes provided by mutual fund. One such scheme is ELSS, which provides you a tax deduction benefit up to amount 1,50,000 in one financial year. And thus the mutual fund also provides you with the tax benefit, with the tax saving options. Let's come to systematic approach to investment. This is one of the best advantage of investing through mutual fund. So it facilitates and helps investor invest amount regularly through a systematic investment plan. So if you are not having a large amount to be invested at one go, you can invest monthly or at regular intervals. So if you are investing at regular intervals, it would be referred as systematic investment plan. So you are going through SIPs. Every month you are putting 1,000 rupees or 500 or 5,000, whatever is as per your comfortability of your investment amount. So you are putting that monthly at regular intervals. So that is systematic investment plan. Or maybe in the same way, you can withdraw amount regularly through systematic withdrawal plan. Also, if you want to change the scheme, you can go through systematic transfer plan. And these systematic approaches promote investment discipline, which is useful in long-term wealth creation and protection. So thus you can start with a very small amount. You can incur this investment discipline of investing at regular intervals. You can withdraw your money and to cover various expenses through SWP, which will be systematic withdrawal plan. And the same way you can go for systematic transfer plan, in which you can switch between different schemes if you found one scheme not to be relevant. So there will be switching between different schemes, and thus you will be provided benefits of all those schemes. So it will be systematic transfer plan. Now let's come to some of the disadvantages of mutual funds. So first is lack of portfolio customization. In mutual fund, the investor does not have control over what securities are bought and sold. Decisions are taken entirely by fund manager in accordance with scheme's investment objective. So as in the case, if as an individual investor you will be investing in securities market, you will be having proper control over what securities you would like to buy, in which company's share you would like to invest. That will be totally in your control. But however, in case of mutual fund, there are fund managers who will be taking decisions on behalf of you. So according to your investment objective, in which asset classes to invest, in which shares of the companies to invest, all the decisions will be taken by the fund managers. Second is choice overload. So there are multiple mutual fund schemes offered by several mutual fund houses and multiple options within those schemes, which makes it difficult for investors to choose between them. So mutual fund getting popular have provided and launched various schemes which create a chaos in the mind of investors to choose which scheme to go for. Now, therefore, it became necessary to classify the mutual fund schemes on broad categories. So when you go to invest your money in mutual fund, you would be asked few questions, that what is your risk appetite, what return percent you would like to have, and what is your investment objective. According to that, the investment would be made in particular mutual fund scheme. So if you want to save for retirement, you would go for retirement fund. If you want to consider capital appreciation or growth in your money, you will go for equity fund. If you want safety, you don't want to take higher risk, you want your capital protection, so there will be debt schemes which will be investing in government securities, bonds, debt funds, etc. So it will depend on your investment objective. No guaranteed return. As we saw that mutual fund is linked to the market, the securities which are trading in the market, and thus we can't have a guaranteed return on it. It will depend on the performance of individual securities, and thus it will impact the scheme's performance as well. So there is always a market linked risk involved in mutual funds. Thank you for watching. Do like and share my videos. Subscribe to my channel DevTech Finance. Thank you all.